Okay, this is going to be a video about some of the general goings on in some of the Ohio sports teams. We'll get right into it. I'll have chapters so you know what I'm talking about when. We're going to start with an update on Peyton Hillis. He is said to be off of the ventilator and is said to be on the road to recovery. Certainly not a done deal yet, but he certainly seems to be in better sorts than he was when he was first hospitalized, obviously. So that's some nice positive news that Peyton Hillis, in what it was a heroic act in saving his family from drowning in a swimming accident in Pensacola, Florida. He seems to be doing better than he was, although again, not out of the woods yet. So hopefully that continues to be good news there. And just some positive news for, a couple of current and former football players getting hospitalized and eventually getting better, obviously with Damar Hamlin, the way he was in, and now he's out of the hospital and doing as probably as well as you could have hoped he would at this point. And hopefully Peyton Hillis follows the same trajectory that he is on. Also in returns, Ricky Rubio, he is back playing for the Cavs. He played in yesterday's game against the Portland Trail Blazers. I'll get more into the specifics on that on Wednesday when I do my Cavs recap. He gave stability to the bench last season. You can really tell he ran the offense like a knife through butter on the second unit last season. Hopefully that can continue to be the case this year on the court, but just from an overall story perspective, it is phenomenal that he missed the entire 2022 calendar year with injury, and he stuck with it, and he's back playing for the Cavs. Good for him. And he did earn I will get into this specific, he did earn the Junkyard Dog chain in that game against Portland, so that's nice to see there. Now with an update on the Browns defensive coordinator search. So potential candidates, Jared Mayo and Brian Flores, have interested parties elsewhere, so the Browns not the only ones vying for their services for a defensive coordinator. New England has revealed that they will be doing negotiations with Jared Mayo to keep him within the Patriots organization. Usually organizations don't necessarily announce that, but maybe they see that the Browns are kind of going for him as defensive coordinator and are kind of publicly stating we want him to be our guy. So that's something that's interesting there. And Brian Flores has received a head coaching interview request from the Cardinals. And I thought that might have been a possible wrinkle in hiring Flores for the Browns defensive coordinator position, is that since he was a former NFL head coach, maybe that puts some pressure on Stefanski that if he doesn't get the job done next season, then Brian Flores is waiting in the wings. And I saw some Browns fans concerned about his pending lawsuit against the NFL. All I'll say about that is that pending lawsuits did not matter the last time the Browns organization went after their guy. They've seemed to be pretty brazen about getting their guy regardless of lawsuits in the past. As for new candidates for the Browns defensive coordinator position, Jim Schwartz is going to be interviewed on Wednesday. Veteran coach, most recently a senior defensive assistant with the Tennessee Titans, and he could very quickly become one of the favorites for the job if Jared Mayo does indeed stay with New England and Brian Flores does take a head coaching gig. Jim Schwartz becomes probably the most popular candidate for the Browns, although unless the Browns really like what they hear from Sean Desai once Seattle's playoff run is over and they get him in the organization to talk or whatever, maybe they really like what he has to say. But yeah, Jim Schwartz added to the mix. Maybe Jared Mayo and Brian Flores take either they stay with New England and Brian Flores, maybe he gets a head coaching gig elsewhere to take themselves out of the running for that job. And now to end the video off with some Blue Jackets injury updates. Carson Meyer unfortunately placed on IR. He is expected to be out 6 to 8 weeks with an oblique strain. Trey Fix-Wolansky was recalled on an emergency basis for Carson Meyer going out, but he did not play yesterday against the Hurricanes, and he was sent back down to the Monsters today. The Jackets going with 11 forwards, 7 defensemen against Carolina. I feel like that could mean with Trey Fix-Wolansky going back down, I feel like that could mean either Eric Robinson or Boone Jenner or both of them could be close to coming back. I don't see any other reason to call up a forward and then immediately send them back down unless you have somebody else who's already injured that's coming back. So that could be positive. But in injury news, that is definitely positive. Nick Blankenberg returned to the ice yesterday. He did look to limp off the ice against Carolina in the latter stages of that game, but he reportedly fine in practice today, so maybe he just blocked a shot, and hopefully that just kind of left him in some pain for a little bit, but nothing lasting beyond that. And I will get into more of the specifics of that game against Carolina on Monday when I do my Blue Jackets recap. So that's pretty much it. As all I was going to say, just some quick hits here and there, just some general news news I was kind of adding up, and I didn't want to just like dump it all on a weekly recap when I'm doing games, and I'm just like talking about like, oh, here's who came back from injury all of a sudden. I just wanted to kind of get this compilation out there and get that news out there so I didn't have to feel like I had to cover it in maybe an unrelated video. So thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I will see you at the next one.